Hello on a beautiful day. It's not too hot. So just thought I'd bring you along as I pull some of the produce in and chat. After a windy night, both of my two remaining coriander plants that I want for seed, because I'm out of seed for next year's planting, for one thing, rather than pull it, it's blowing all over everything and it's got wind rock down here. So I very rudely put a rock on it. But I'm out to get right now the zucchini over there that Bruce informed me is getting too large. I don't think it is, but it's good for picking. Oh, he's right. It's just about perfect. So I'll take this guy in. My first zucchini of the year. They weren't being pollinated because I was getting, the females with no males. I'm not blessed with an abundance of parsnip, but I don't have any inside. So I think I'm going to take this one. Has he got any? I think it should be a nice enough size. I'll put the phone down for that. Bruce is trimming and mowing the driveway while I'm pulling in some veggies. As part of today's harvest, I'm going to get out the rest of these Norlands. I've already taken quite a few, and some of the gourmandine, which is over here, looking a bit shabby also. But I'm just going to get on, and there's not many left there. Pull those out. What it is about today is I'm emptying the beds quite heavily now. I'm just making sure that I'm cleaning everything out. They're looking so empty, it's actually heartbreaking. I may go in and get some spinach and stick in all the bare patches. But what a wonderful summer we've had here. The joke is that we may end up being tropical. I know it's not funny because we're talking global warming. And it's quite shocking what's occurring around the world. But on the lighter side, those of us in Newfoundland don't get this weather. And it's been a really, not usually, I shouldn't say never, it's been quite a hot summer and quite an adjustment. I'm sure everyone's going through the adjustment. We all have to look at our seed packs again and say, oh gosh, I bought this for cold weather, high winds. I still have high winds. Short season, yada, yada, yada. So, and of course this year, just off the charts, I'm actually going to have tomatoes. I go on and on about my tomatoes if you've followed me. I continue to keep trying and keep putting out. Had a very bad start to my year this year, but that's besides the point. However, those that have made it are producing tomatoes outdoors in Newfoundland. Now, they're not red yet. They're getting close. But I think this will be my best tomato year. And on the other hand, on the flip side of that, it's the worst year for some other crops. But again, this is what everyone's going through. I know. We just went topsy-turvy this year. And maybe have to rethink some things. Or not. I don't know. I really don't know. A lot of stuff's cyclical too. And the bugs are different. First time ever outside. I have a pot on my veranda that for the first time ever had aphids outside. Aphids! Never see them. Sprayed them off and all was good. And then on my artichokes, which I've never grown, so I can't speak to those, I had black aphids. What the heck? Never even seen them before. So I'm cleaning my onions. You see why I have to harvest my onions? They aren't ready to harvest, but this is Newfoundland, so no matter what, this is an ocean climate that is quite damp. And they're going moldy. That's bizarre. So I don't even know if they're going to store. They're far larger than they should be. They grew enormous in this heat. Another one of those vegetables that I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I purposely buy Stir-On and Red Carmen. Here's the Red Carmen. These are smaller ones because I'm pulling them as they're sort of flipping over. They're not even dead yet, you see. He's still standing. But I can't leave them in any longer. So day by day, I'm slowly pulling them out. I'll show you all the onions that I've got afterwards because I'm just laying them out to dry indoors. But yeah, so Carmen, red Carmen, is a very small, no, it's a medium onion. I shouldn't say small. It's a lovely onion. I love them. They store well because they're medium. I buy onions to store for a year. It's about survival for me. And I've alluded to it in some videos, but this year I resigned my position. And that puts a whole new spin on how important this food is for me. It's always been important. Bruce and I aren't getting younger, so I think I've talked about that before, where it is a mission of mine to be more sufficient, self-sufficient, not completely, that's ridiculous, but more self-sufficient in our food, our vegetables, as much as we can. We're not young. We're not getting younger either. So, and then resigning is ridiculous, I know. And love it. I've had the best summer that I can remember in forever. So here I am, 5 o'clock at night, totally enjoying my life. Totally immersed in my garden, my thoughts. Could be scary, don't laugh at me. But just, yeah, the beauty. It's just amazing. But look what I have to do. These are damp and wet. Not from rain, by the way. So I'm just trying to keep the mold at bay, which will happen. I'm very meticulous if you've seen me with my garlic. Actually, I'll show you the garlic in another video, I think. I've got that pretty much tidied up. And I think I have to get a little like that with my onions this year. Normally you can leave them out and they can dry outside for a bit if the weather's, you know, not calling for rain. Maybe. Yeah, and here I have to peel. These are rotten. These skins are mushy and rotten. This is very unusual. Very unusual. Anyway. So yeah, what a year. What a life. I'm enjoying life. Life is beautiful, gorgeous. Couldn't be happier. Sometimes you have to do things for yourself. And then think of the game plan, or, you know, how you're, oh, I don't know. Think of the second set, how you're going to survive afterwards. But you still need to do things, I think I'll wash it, for yourself. So I did get a few beets, by the way, a few more that are intact and not eaten by sow bugs. And then I have some that have been eaten terribly by sow bugs still. Almost all my beets, I've shown that in a previous video. I just went crazy and pulled all my beets, but there was a few that were popping up later, so I'm pulling those now. But they didn't get some of these, and what I learned in retrospect is if you hill up the dirt as they're growing out of the ground, right? Hill up the dirt all the way up here, then the sow bugs weren't getting them. But of course you have to be on top of that, and I wasn't at first, didn't know that I had. This was a year for sow bugs. Now next year, it'll be slugs again. You know, it's gardening life. These look like, I do get the odd leaf miner, as you can see with this one. Yuck. I don't care. They don't bother anything. They don't bother anything at all. And if I find beets that are good, with lots of great leaves, like this one here, I'll go stick them in water and save those for freezer processing. And if they're not, I really don't care. It doesn't hurt my beets whatsoever. Anyway, I say it anyway too many times. But how wonderful to sit outside in your garden, pull in your produce, reap the rewards of your hard work. Growing your garden, you have to apply yourself. You know, it doesn't come super easy. It's fun, it's wonderful, but it's a lot of hard work. A lot of setbacks. This year's been crazy setbacks. My potatoes have been ridiculous. I normally have lovely potatoes. They're not so much. They're fine. They'll get us through to for a bit. We'll see what happens. Wow, these onions. I'll see how some of these dry. They've split their skins. The skins are no longer on them. Maybe I've left them too long, but I was doing what you normally do, which is to let your onions fall over. This one has fallen over. You could leave it in the ground forever if you were in a warmer, not, you know, ocean wet sort of environment, and they would dry beautifully for you, but not here. So they're scaring me a bit. Now these are smaller ones that I'm picking. Only the smaller ones have fallen over. The larger ones are still sitting out there, and I've touched them and they actually feel soft, so I'm so scared. But they haven't fallen over yet, so I don't want to pull them yet. But they're huge. They shouldn't be that big. That's my Styron and my Red Carmen. And they're not, they're normal. They're gigantic. Really weird. And small stores will. Or for me anyway. The smaller they are, the longer they last. Now I have a lot of small onions too. And they get me 100% from year to year. Look. There's another. But what I'm going to try to do is slice a little sideways and see what I can save for pickling, or I might roast some. And this one's nice, perfect. So I've got 3 perfect here that I pulled today, and 2 that are almost a write-off, but I'm going to salvage. Here's my gourmandine, the parsnip. Could have gotten bigger, of course, but I needed one, so that's good. This was a leek, the American flag. Again, I planted 8 only. I think it was all the seeds I had left. I won't be buying those from my location. That is just too for me, again, because they bolt. So I've just pulled him and he was going to bolt. I've been keeping my eye on them. I got 4 uneaten beets. Yay! 2 eaten beets. Zucchini, which Bruce was right. That's just the perfect size. Some of the carrots I've gotten, or pulled. Gotten? That didn't sound right. And some of the red Norland. I have a couple more red Norland plants that weren't fully over yet, so I've left those. We'll see if they can go any further. But these and these were completely, well, these were completely gone. I found that when I went on the other side, they were dried up, brown, nothing leaves. So I pulled those ones. There's still some gourmandine out there. And I'll go upstairs because I've already taken my onions up to another level. I'll show you those. Here's the onions. I've got to get them out of the sun, but for now I've just quickly thrown them into a spare bedroom. Keep them out of the house and out of the way. As I slowly pull them in, I have lots more to go. I had to run to the store, so I just thought I'd leave you with this. Pardon the cracked windshield, still cracked. This is our street that we live on, just further up.